I didn't wake up today and think I might catch a potential state record catfish.
Well, hello, folks, and welcome to the Dieter Melhorn Fishing Podcast. I hope you're having a good day, whatever day it is that you happen to be listening to the show. Today, we're going to talk about a possible world record class fish that was caught out in Missouri just a couple of days ago. And I started hearing about this on Saturday. I was in the woods deer hunting, got a few messages about it, some pictures, some clips. And anytime I see these things, I'm always like, I'll look at that later and figure out if that just happened or if this is some old video or something. So I got home that night, saw a little bit about it, didn't really dig into it, had to get up early on Sunday to do an NFL game. And when I got home last night, I started looking. I was like, man, this is legit. This fish is massive. And I sent the guy a couple of messages. Jesse Lance is his name. Cool name. That sounds like some cowboy name or something. But I sent him a couple of messages and was trying to get a hold of him. And two, I wanted to see how tall he was because I was trying to figure out some numbers on this fish as far as just what it was going to weigh lengthwise, that kind of stuff. And didn't hear back from him, which you kind of expect, man. When you catch a fish this size, you're getting inundated with comments from your friends. You're going to have the media reaching out to you. There's just a lot of people wanting to know about it, myself included, that you've never spoke to before in your life. So, but he was nice enough to take a call this morning from me, and I got to talk to him for a few minutes about it. And fishing alone, a cool, rainy day, anchored up with, what have I talked about before? Little bitty pieces of bait. Big hook. He had a big hook. But hey, listen, I ain't going to fault him. He caught a big fish. But little bitty $50 size pieces of bait is what he caught this thing on. Asian carp, no big secret there on what he was fishing with. He's let that be publicly known. A common bait out there where they fishing for these fish. And I asked him, I said, how long did it take to get this fish in? And he said about 8 to 10 minutes, which you've heard me say before, most of the time when people catch fish this big, or just big fish in general, it doesn't take as long as they think. And you know, he said it was about that long. But the deal is this. This fish is massive. And he made a tough decision. And that was to get some video of the fish, talk about it, and release it without getting it weighed. There is a process that you have to go through in Missouri to get one of these things certified, which means taking it back somewhere to a scale, a certified scale, witnesses, that whole thing. And he wasn't clear, and I'd love to get some feedback from you guys on what the deal is in Missouri, if DNR has to see it, certify it themselves, or can witnesses do it. In North Carolina, you can get it weighed on certified scales, have a witness to it, and you're okay with it. But some states, actual DNR has to certify it. And obviously, it's a Saturday when he catches the fish. A lot of times, most of these places, I've said this before, they're going to tell you to throw it in the freezer, put it on ice. We'll weigh it Monday when we're back in the office. And that was going through his head. And he made a decision, a tough decision, to let this fish go, knowing it was a good fish. But I don't think at the time he realized just how big this fish was. Initially, when I reached out to him, I was trying to find out how tall he was, because he's got some great video of him lifting the fish up. And you can see in the video, the tail of the fish was still on the ground when he caught it. He did attempt to weigh it there on the boat. Got to around 126 pounds, he said, but part of the fish was still on the ground when he did that. Could not get it totally off the ground to weigh it. And again, fishing by himself, it changes the game when it comes to dealing with a fish like this. So made a tough decision to let it go. I ran the numbers. I sat here in my studio with the tape measure, looked at the video, seen how high he held it. He's about 5'9". I was going to go with 5'10", kind of put it in the middle of where I'm guessing his height was. I'm around 6 feet. So I kind of came up with the range, kind of looking at how much of the tail was still on the ground. And my numbers came up to be between 57 and 63 inches in length. Now, you may wonder how that compares to other fish out there. Well, the Nick Anderson fish, the world record, 143 pounds, was 57 inches long. Dale Lowe, I texted with him this morning. He caught the largest blue catfish that's ever been caught in a tournament and weighed on certified scales at 141 pounds. It was 61 inches in length. He said that fish looked similar in size to the fish that he caught. One thing about these fish like Dale caught, it was in a live well for a long time. It was caught in a tournament. That fish probably lost 5 to 6 pounds being in the live well that long, just regurgitating what's in the stomach, the water, the liquid contents in the stomach. You're only looking at about, maybe 3/4 of a gallon of water in their stomach. And you can tell by looking at this fish, and he said the same thing about this thing, visually, same type of girth on it. These fish, when you first catch them, look a lot bigger than after they've been in a live well for a while, especially like a tournament-sized fish. Same thing with Nick Anderson's fish. By the time it was weighed, they kept it in a trough, trying to keep it alive. Usually by the time you get it to pitcher time, where you've weighed it and you're getting ready to release it, they don't have the girth because they've lost a lot of those stomach contents. My thinking is this fish would have shattered the state record in Missouri. That fish is around 130, 131 pounds. Greg Burnell caught it. That was back in 2010. I'm going to show you a picture of that fish. That fish was 57 inches long. So you can look at those and compare them to this fish that was caught. And I think you'll, without a doubt, say this fish would have been the state record in Missouri, hands down. My question is, would it have beat the world record? And I think there's a real good chance it would have. I think there's a real good chance this fish could have eclipsed it by 5 to 7 pounds. And that's saying a lot. That's a massive fish. Rare fish of a lifetime is not even a good term. This is a fish of multiple lifetimes of catfish anglers. And, he released it alive. And I told him on the phone when I talked to him, I said, listen, once the dopamine leaves your body of catching this fish and the hoopla's passed, and, you're going to sit there and you're going to second guess, should I have tried to weigh it? Should I have, what if I would have got that world record? What if, I could have got a rod deal? I could have got the... You made a decision. You did what's right for you. And he sounds like his head is in a very good place. And that's good to hear from a young man, a young angler, somebody who's pursuing trophy fish, that the health of that fish meant more than getting it weighed for a record. And it's one thing I've said about people in the catfish world, especially somebody like him, who is a dedicated trophy angler looking for big fish. The fish themselves and the health of the fish means more than the records to a lot of people. I question myself. I did a podcast about this. What would I do if I was in that situation? And, I don't know. It's kind of like I'm at the point where I say it really doesn't matter that much. I don't know what I'd do unless I was in that situation. I think that's true for a lot of us. But it's not a question for Jesse and what he did, because he let the fish go. So that fish is still swimming out there. I'm sure that place will be run over with people fishing. It doesn't disclose the exact area. The Mississippi is the Missouri is the longest river in America, so there's a lot of room there. But I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to catch this fish and trying to catch it. I hope they are as either A, well prepared to take it to be weighed, or they have that same mindset that killing it is not worth it. So, but again, you unless you're in that situation, you don't know what you're going to do, and I get that. But he did something that will put him in the record book among anglers and trophy anglers as one of the greatest stewards. He's right up there with Radish, the guy who caught the fish that I think would have shattered the current world record that he released. His was caught on the Mississippi probably about 20 years ago, and I think that's still one of the biggest fish. I think it is the biggest fish that's ever been caught, blue catfish, and he's right up there in that kind of legend status. And sometimes that legend status is worth more than that record status. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you out on the water.